I'm South Shore Press News Director Stefan Mihailu, joined by South Shore Press Sports Director Tom Barton. Tom, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Staying warm or trying to as we get ready for this weekend. Not a lot of sleep in my world when coming up to this NFL weekend, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to use the phrase, hey, it's your Super Bowl, but it's literally for, I mean, you are a national betting expert, and obviously we're great to have you at the South Shore Press, but like, you've got to be just jacked up, like totally jazzed about this time of the year.
Yeah, it is actually kind of funny because people always talk to me about, well, who's your Super Bowl play? I don't bet a lot on the Super Bowl generally, on the game itself, on prop play, sure. But this is the weekend where you have four games. You could find an edge this weekend. Next weekend, it gets tighter. And then the Super Bowl, hey, it's a crapshoot if there's a good line or not.
And there's no secret amongst the South Shore Press staff of what a diehard member of Bills Mafia I am. I'm a huge Bills fan. So we'll start because it really does seem to be, and obviously I'm biased, Tom. You know, I love the Bills, but I'm a little biased. But I mean, that is the marquee game of the weekend. So please, for the love of God and all that is holy, tell me you think the Bills are going to win.
I'll tell you this, whoever wins, whether it be the Bills or the Ravens, the entire country is going to root for them next week because you want whoever they're going to play to go up against Kansas City and win. Lamar Jackson, two-time MVP. It's about his time. It's also about Josh Allen's time, and you see this all the time. And you said, tell you that the Bills are going to win. Look, my heart says the Bills. My head leans the Bills as well, but it's one of those tight lines. The line opened up at a pick 'em. It quickly went to 1.5, where the quote unquote sharps were all over Baltimore and moved that line. Look, it doesn't matter. It's who is going to win the game. It is one of those tough games. And I made this comment on my Fox Sports show. I said, this is one of those games that I can't remember a regular season game or postseason game that's not the Super Bowl being as anticipated for two individuals as much as the team when you're talking about Jackson and Allen.
But let's talk weather too, because like, look, it's going to be one of the coldest playoff games in Orchard Park history. And for people like us who are used to the cold, like, all right, yeah, that's just Sunday, like literally be in shorts and a tank top. But what do you think from a betting perspective? Does the cold have an impact on the game?
Yeah, it actually does. I've spoken to athletes and for what, three generations now. They say the snow doesn't matter to them, the rain doesn't matter to them. The two biggest factors are wind and extreme cold. Because the extreme cold, your extremities, not to make a light of it, they get cold. You can't handle the ball the same well. You're not kicking the ball. People forget about the kicking game. You're kicking a rock now, which means that the coach says, well, you know what? Maybe I would try from 51. I'm going to go for it on 4th and 3 to try to get it inside that 50-yard line. I think the entire game plan changes. I was telling you before time, Lamar Jackson has never played in a game at 27 degrees or under. Does that mean he's going to all of a sudden, not be Lamar Jackson? No, but it is something. It's a brand new world. You hear some of these athletes, they used to put on whale blubber on them to kind of stay warm. And there's all kinds of different theories of how to stay warm. But the reality is, even if it doesn't impact the play on the field, it's in their minds. They're thinking about it. It's not something you could just shut out of your head. Even if you can during game day, the work up to it, you're practicing in it, you're thinking about it. It is a massive impact when it's these kind of extremes. And we're talking, like you said, potentially the coldest game ever.
Okay, Rams, Eagles. What are your thoughts on that one?
Look, the Rams are a fun team, and I made a lot of money on them last week. I think people are underrating when you have a quarterback, Super Bowl winning, probably Hall of Fame quarterback, two of the dynamic wide receivers, a good running back, Sean McVay, and a defense that's led by two Florida State defensive players in Fisk and Verse, who are very young, but people just don't know them yet. People are underrating this Rams team. And you look at the Eagles, they should win the game. They're the better team. They're more talented. They got Saquon Barkley. But Jalen Hurts looked really rusty last week. He missed time because of an injury. He comes back, he looks rusty. This Rams defense has been playing so much better. If they could get in Jalen Hurts' face, and Jalen Hurts isn't 100%, I think the Rams are a live dog, and you're getting almost a touchdown with them.
Now let's stick with the NFC. Lions, Commanders. I actually went to Detroit and watched that shootout with the Bills and the Lions. And again, as a diehard Bills fan, I grudgingly say, like, I walked away from that game thinking, wow, the Lions are a good, explosive football team.
Oh, this is the storm for sports bettors across the world. The Lions are easy to root for. You love their coach. They're an explosive team. They're at home. Everybody thinks it's the Lions' time. The Commanders are just happy to be here. They have a quarterback that is, a young quarterback. Quarterbacks on the road in the playoffs are now 6-24 over the last 30. There's only been 2 that have won since 2012, and in 2012 it was 2 rookies against each other. The odds are just there. Oh yeah, and then you have 91% of the bets are coming in on the Lions. Dangerous territory. Usually, sports books in Las Vegas don't have, giant hotels built because they're giving money away. Everybody I know is on Detroit. Everybody's parlaying in them. They're teasing them down to win. They're taking them straight out. I got bad feelings when I see everybody on one side. And the Commanders, look, they have that element. You got to remember, Detroit's defense is all banged up, missing key members. Jane Daniels can do some things, and this is a game that I'd be very concerned about if I was Detroit. Now, they'll probably win, but covering the 9.5, it's a different story.
And the Chiefs are the team you love to hate. Again, as a Bills fan, any fan, really. Like, the Chiefs are just easy to hate. So what's your take on them being at home against the Texans?
I was on the air live when the line came out, and I said, I'm gonna go to a bank right now because the line opened at 7, and the Chiefs are winning this game. It quickly went up to 7.5, 8, 8.5, and I've seen it touch 9 in some spots, and now it's kind of where I thought that it would open up. Look, the Chiefs have had problems this year. The Chiefs have had problems for a couple of years covering big spreads. They just generally don't cover big spreads. But you got Andy Reid off of a bye week. And Andy Reid off of a bye week is the greatest coach in history off of a bye week. You have Patrick Mahomes off of a bye week. You have Patrick Mahomes at home. You have Patrick Mahomes at home in the playoffs and against a Texans team that I'm not that inspired with. I think C.J. Stroud had a bad year. Their wide receivers were all banged up when they lost Diggs and Dell, and they have a lot of holes on their team. And it was nice that they got out of the first round, and it's a good win. Don't get me wrong. That was a solid win. A completely different animal. Going to Kansas City, who is getting healthier, Isaiah Pacheco and company, who also have a week off, giving Andy Reid a week to prepare. Get Patrick Mahomes at home. I think there's no chance the Texans win this game. But you start to get into that high number. At 7, I was taking the Chiefs. You get up to 9.5 or 9, wherever it's going to land. It makes you think twice about it.
So, Tom, let me just say I take every single penny out of my kids' college fund. And I say, hey, buddy, I'm going to bet it this weekend on one NFL playoff game. Reasonable and smart move, correct?
Awful. I need a minute, my heart.
But hypothetically, of course. And I said, Tom, I'm doing that. What team would you bet on this weekend? What do you think? What would you say in leading me and say, hey, wink and a nod, your Buffalo Bills are going to be great this weekend?
Yeah, I know you want me to say that, but I would stay far away from that game. Look, if you're going to load up on one game, you got to find an angle. You got to find an over and under, try to find a player prop, try to find something. But if you want a straight game, you want just that straight game, look, I hate to say it, and America's going to hate me for saying it, Chiefs are going to win the game. You just hope that, they could cover the spread. And it is an inflating spread, and I don't necessarily love it at the number that it's at. But the Chiefs are going to win the game. I don't know if Buffalo's going to win that game. I think that they will, but I don't know. That's a coin flip game. I'm not sure Philly or the Rams are going to win that game. And I certainly don't know about really any of the other games. I do know Kansas City's going to advance. I mean, we've seen the script written before. So will they cover? It's tight. But I want the team that I think is going to win and probably win easily, and give me Kansas City.
Are you sure you're not on the new side of the house? Because you sure sounded like a politician about dancing around every.
If somebody calls me up and says that, I will spend 2 hours talking them down from the ledge is what I say. Do not put your money on one game. No way, no how. I can make you more money on a game in July between the Royals and White Sox than you have to bet on this weekend. It starts to get tight. And like I said, the bookmakers know what they're doing about this time of year.
All right, buddy. And we'll catch up next week for the championship games.
Have a good one.